2022 서울 국제 안심소득 포럼에 참석해 주신 국내
Good morning,
참석자 여러분,
ladies and
그리고
gentlemen.
온라인으로 시청해
Welcome to the
주시는
Seoul
국내
International
그리고
Forum on
세계
Safety
각국의
Income
여러분 인사드리겠습니다.
2022. I
저는
would
오늘
like to
포럼의
welcome all of
사회를
you who are
맡은
joining us
아나운서
online and here at the
조주연입니다.
venue.
인사드리겠습니다.
I am Cho Ju-yeon and I am the MC for today's forum.
Ladies and gentlemen, and all of our participants joining in from home and abroad on the Seoul International Forum on Safety Income 2022, welcome. And my name is Ju-yeon Cho, and it is indeed an honor to be your MC for this forum. 네, 서울시는 약자와의 동행을
The Seoul Metropolitan government's top priority is going together with the socially neglected, and we are aiming to design a welfare model which ensures that all members of the society can live dignified lives and no one is left behind. That is why the city launched a pilot project called the Safety Income Program to target the low-income groups from July of this year. The first ever Seoul International Forum on Safety Income is being held this year and will provide us with the opportunity to learn about Seoul City's experiment and progress, and also share experiences with US, Finland, and Germany that are also implementing guaranteed income experiments. The forum will provide a venue for global discussion on new guaranteed income policies. And before we begin today's discussions, I would like to first of all introduce the distinguished guests who have graced us with their presence at the opening ceremony. When I call on them, please rise and say hello to all of the participants who are joining us here at the venue. Kim Hyun-gi, Chairman of Seoul Metropolitan Council, has joined us. Thank you. President of Korea National Council on Social Welfare, Mr. Sang-Mok. We have Yoon Han-hee, the Vice Chair of the Health Welfare Committee of Seoul Metropolitan Council. We also have Yoon Hyun-hee, member of Seoul Metropolitan Council Health and Welfare Committee. And we also have member of Seoul Metropolitan Council, Hwang Yu-jung, also member of the Health and Welfare Committee. We have Professor Kim Won-sup from Korea University. We also have Professor Kim Jin-young from Korea University. And we also have Professor Park Jung-min from Seoul National University. We also have Oh Ho-young, the Senior Research Fellow from Korea Research Institute for Vocational Education and Training, joining us. We have Yu Jong-sung, a professor from Gachon University, joining us. We have Lee Jung-min, professor at Seoul National University, joining us. And we also have Lee Jong-hwa joining us. He is the president of the Korea Economic Association. We have Chung Sun-dur, professor at Ewha Women's University, joining us. And we also have Hong Kyung-jun, professor at Songkyungkwan University, joining us. And we also have Chairman Kim Hyun-eun of Seoul Welfare Association. We have Vice President of Shinhan Bank, Park Sung-hyun, joining us. And we also have Mr. Kim Sang-chul, who is the president of the Seoul Welfare Foundation, joining us. And last but not least, we have the host of today's international forum, the mayor of Seoul Metropolitan City, Mayor Se-Hoon, joining us. So once again, thank you very much for joining us today. I hope that through today's forum, we will have diverse discussions on the new welfare model. Ladies and gentlemen, let us now kick off today's ceremony. First, it is my pleasure and honor to now invite the Mayor of Seoul Metropolitan City, Mayor Se-Hoon, to the stage for his welcoming remarks. Please welcome him with a very warm round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, I heartily welcome you to the Seoul International Forum on Safety Income 2022. Thank you for joining us. First, I would like to thank Kim Hyung-gi, Chairman of Seoul Metropolitan Council, Sang-Mok, President of Korean National Council on Social Welfare, Mr. Michael Tubbs, the founder and chair of Mayors for a Guaranteed Income, and also Professor Robert Moffitt of Johns Hopkins University for joining us despite their busy schedule. Furthermore, I would also like to thank the moderators for today's forum, Professor Lee Jong-hwa, President of the Korean Economic Association, and Professor Yoo Jong-sung of Hyeon University, as well as the many experts from home and abroad who will join us and share their insight. I would also like to thank and welcome the citizens who have taken interest in the future welfare system and for joining us online and here also at the venue. The forum, which is being held under the theme Searching for a New Welfare Model to Go Together with the Socially Neglected, is the first global venue for discussion that will examine the future direction of welfare systems and share the progress of the Seoul Safety Income Project, which took off in July this year as part of the Seoul's policy experiment, as well as the overseas guaranteed income experiments in Finland, Germany, and US. With changes in the labor market due to the accelerated digital transition and climate change and prolonged COVID-19, around the world, poverty and inequality has exacerbated, and currently countries around the world are engaging in various discussions and research to find solutions. The situation in Korea is also very difficult. COVID-19 pandemic and the ramifications of economic crisis has disproportionately affected the vulnerable. The low-income groups face more difficulties, and we continue to hear about tragic incidences where people have taken their own lives after living under unbearable hardship. As we can see, the current welfare system's limitation is explicitly coming to surface, and more than any other time, we need a shift to a new guaranteed income system. So through the Seoul Safety Income Project, which is a Korean-style guaranteed income experiment, will strongly protect the vulnerable and create a new welfare system of the future where citizens are guaranteed a dignified life and there are no welfare blind spots. We will sever the vicious cycle of poverty and devastation and create a future-oriented welfare model in which more people can live a life worth of human dignity. This is a message that Seoul Metropolitan City would like to convey to the international community through this forum. With the beginning of today's forum, we will launch the Global Guaranteed Income Network and establish an exchange and research cooperation network with overseas cities, academic and research organizations. Together, we will create a sustainable welfare system for the future. I hope that Seoul International Forum on Safety Income 2022 will provide us with a valuable opportunity to gather wisdom and create a consensus to find solutions to poverty and inequality. I would like to once again thank everyone for joining us today. So once again, thank you very much.
네, 시장님 감사합니다.
So thank you very much, Mayor, for your meaningful words and for kicking off our forum today. As a citizen of Seoul City, as the Mayor mentioned, I hope that today's forum will provide us with a valuable opportunity to find solutions to addressing inequality and poverty. And next, ladies and gentlemen, I would now like to invite Kim Hyung-gi, Chairman of Seoul Metropolitan City, to deliver his congratulatory remarks. Please welcome the chairman to the stage with a very warm round of applause. So as you can see, I am shorter the mayor. Oh, so I have to adjust my mic. So ladies and gentlemen, it is a pleasure to meet you. I am Kim Hyung-gi, Chairman of Seoul Metropolitan Council. I would like to congratulate the hosting of the Seoul International Forum on Safety Income 2022. I would like to express my gratitude to the Mayor of Seoul Metropolitan City, Se-Hoon, also President Sang-Mok of the Korea National Council on Social Welfare, as well as the experts from home and abroad for organizing this venue for discussion and for sharing their insight. Many countries around the world have welfare system in place to protect the socially vulnerable. In Korea, during the foreign currency crisis, massive unemployment and poverty were serious, and we enacted the National Basic Living Security Act in 1999. And 20 years has passed. There has been a lot of progress, but there is still welfare blind spots being created, and so people are saying that we need to improve our existing welfare system. So in Korea, in Seoul City, there are slums and there are many people living there. But those people are not covered under the National Basic Livelihood Security System. Only 20% of these poorest of the poor are covered under the National Basic Livelihood Security System. So many people are vulnerable to inequality and poverty. So the Seoul Metropolitan City has introduced the Seoul Safety Income Project as an alternative solution. So regarding the protection of the socially underprivileged, there was controversy over basic income, which represents universal welfare, and selective welfare, represented by safety income. I think the key is to guarantee the minimum standard of living for the low-income class and the rights to live with dignity as humans. However, once a welfare system is implemented, it's difficult to terminate it, and since full-scale implementation of safety income requires enormous financial resources, its effectiveness and validity must be rigorously proven through this pilot project. The Seoul Metropolitan Council will also closely examine all the processes and results of the Safe Income Pilot Project. We will also review next year's budget with this in mind. So the members of the Seoul Metropolitan Council are joining us here today, and they are reviewing this project in depth. I hope that this forum will serve as a meaningful opportunity to create a more advanced welfare system for the future and to reduce welfare blind spots and also address income inequality. Right now, the holidays are near, and so we are reminded of our neighbors who are more underprivileged. There are many ways for us to help those who are socially neglected, so I hope you will do your part and try to create a more warm and caring society. I hope everyone has enjoyable holidays. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We heard from Kim Hyun-gi, Chairman of Seoul Metropolitan Council's congratulatory remarks. Next, we will be hearing from the President of Korea National Council on Social Welfare, Mr. Sang-Mok. He will deliver his congratulatory remarks. Please give him a big hand. Hello everyone, I am Sang-Mok, President of the Korea National Council on Social Welfare, and we are gathered here today to seek a new welfare system to move forward in harmony with the socially neglected. And I would like to extend my gratitude to Seoul City Mayor Se-Hoon and also the staff for hosting this international forum. Last week, I was in Spain because of a social inclusion international conference held in Spain, and I arrived late last night. So social inclusion is, I believe, going together with the socially neglected. And the United Nations states leaving no one behind. It means that we all should go together. Therefore, going together with the socially neglected has become an international theme. So the purpose and the goal is good indeed. However, how are we going to achieve and obtain this goal and aim? And I believe that this will be related to the various policies that need to be pursued. During the COVID-19 pandemic, many people lost their jobs, and this has led to a reduction in their income. And 40% of workers are not covered by labor insurance. During the COVID-19 pandemic, we realized that there are many loopholes in our existing social safety net. That is why the government had to distribute cash handouts. And this happened not only in Korea, but in Japan and in the United States. However, this is a more short-term measure. We need to have mid to long-term measures. And one way to do so would be to guarantee a certain income for all. And there is now a social consensus on this matter. And as a means to do so, the first method is universal basic income, and we have centuries of history of UBI. In the case of UBI, it requires an enormous budget because basic income is distributed to all. If we want to distribute 300,000 to all Koreans, this will be 170 trillion, requires 170 trillion in budget. And there is a negative income tax that was argued by Friedman, an important economist, and so it is a income system that supports certain wages. And so the issue here is about whether people will want to work, because if you do not have work, then that gap will be covered by government support. Therefore, for the low income people, it will be a disincentive for work. And in order to complement these two aspects of these two systems, we have come up with the Safety Income Project. This is most realistic, and there is the biggest probability of implementing the Safety Income Project. And this is the background for coming up with this Seoul Safety Income Project. And in this sense, I believe that it is very meaningful that we are holding this international conference. I hope that we can gather a lot of good opinions on this. And currently, Seoul Safety Income Project is being carried out. And this system cannot be carried out by Seoul City alone. It has to be expanded nationwide. And in order to do so, we need to understand exactly what has to be done. Also, we have hundreds of social welfare systems already. Therefore, we need to have a comprehensive plan to coordinate with these other social welfare systems. And I want to thank the organizers for preparing this international conference. And I think we have here with us renowned experts from home and abroad. And I hope that we will be able to come up with supplementary measures that will be needed for this to be carried out nationwide. Thank you.
So thank you very much. That was Sang-Mok, President of Korea National Council on Social Welfare. Thank you once again for your insightful remarks. Also, we have Professor Park Ki-sung joining us. He is professor at Seongshin Women's University. So thank you very much for joining us. All the way from the United States, someone is joining us online, and he is the former mayor of Stockton City and also the founder of Mayors for Guaranteed Income. It is our pleasure to now introduce Mr. Michael Tubbs.
Michael Tubbs here, former mayor of the city of Stockton, California. I'm current chair and founder of Mayors for a Guaranteed Income, an organization of over 100 mayors in the United States piloting guaranteed income programs, and your brother, your friend, in this movement to eliminate poverty from our cities, from our provinces, from our countries, and from indeed our world. I want to say first, it's an absolute honor to be in conversation I'd like to congratulate the leadership on embarking on what I think 100 years from now will be looked upon as something so simple. The idea that with so much growth, with so much wealth, with so many resources, that no one, no, no matter who it is or what they've done, should have absolute nothing, and that the mark of a civilized society is a society that provides for the basic necessities needed to be human. And that's what drove me in 2007 to launch the first guaranteed income program in the United States. This notion of not about just guaranteed income or universal basic income, but really this notion of universal human dignity. The idea that no one in my city should have nothing, should have what we know Maslow tells us humans need to survive and thrive. So, congratulations on embarking on something that the whole world will be watching. Not really just an experiment in terms of how money is spent, because we know, like we've seen in Stockton, California, where I was there, that people spend money the way people spend money on necessities. Not just the health impacts. We know that when people are less stressed, they're healthier. And a lot of stress people have is because they don't have money. And not about whether folks need to know how to spend money. We also know that it's not that people don't know how to spend money, it's oftentimes that people don't have money to spend. And we also know that people are working, and this issue isn't work, it's wages. It isn't work, it's wealth. It isn't work, it's a structure that produces great outcomes for a few based off the labor of the many of whom can't afford one emergency, can't afford housing, can't afford shelter, etc. And the fact that, so I say that to say, what's really interesting about this isn't going to be the data. It's about the story we tell about how we are all deserving, how we are all worthy, how none of us deserve to have anything less than what's required to be human, that we don't have to earn our dignity, but our dignity is endowed in us by our Creator. And the job of any civilized society is to create the structures and the policies that bring out, that emphasize, that accelerate that dignity. So again, as you can tell, I'm excited. Congratulations. Thank you for your leadership. Indeed, the world and the future is watching and saying thank you, thank you, thank you for having the courage to break paradigms and to say, let's eliminate poverty. Let's provide a guaranteed income. Let's show that we understand as a government, as a key function of governance, the need to treat all of our constituents with dignity and with policies that reflect that understanding, the most fundamental of that being economic security, the ability to provide for food, housing, and shelter at the very least. So again, congratulations. I'm so excited. I can't wait to work with you all to make this a reality worldwide and a policy worldwide.